attention residue awareness. So allow 5 to 10 minutes between deep work sessions, emailing/messaging, to prevent mental hangover that comes from task switching. So for example, if I were to work on these slides, then go answer some emails, then come back to working on these slides, now I've created a mental residue tax on my focus. Now I have to go all the way back into flow state, all the way back into deep work. I have to focus again. I have to concentrate again. And a little bit of my willpower is diminished because I already went and looked at something else. So that's taking up mental capacity. And see, I used to learn things like all the stuff I'm showing you right here, and I would understand them, right? Take them into account. But I never truly understood how important it is to maximize your productivity in your mental space than when I was able to quit my job. Because I went from, like I said, working as a security guard where I basically did nothing. That's not true. I didn't do nothing. Working as a construction worker where I did a lot. And then also working in the Army, which I also did a lot. Now in the Army, I was in infantry. So I wasn't like, solving complex equations or anything crazy. I was just doing drills, going to shoot some targets, et cetera, shooting at the range. And I wouldn't really mentally exhaust myself at work ever. And I only had about 3 to 4 hours to work on my business on the side anyways. So I never really understood what true mental exhaustion was until I quit all my jobs, did nothing but working business online, and had to stay up sunrise to sundown just working. And I was like, you know what? I better start taking this stuff more seriously. So take it from somebody else who's been in your shoes. Take this stuff seriously early on, and you'll save yourself a lot of time and trouble down the line. Finally, huge one, not even finally, because there's still more, but very, very important, is understanding productive procrastination. Now, I know it sounds like an oxymoron, which is 2 words that sound opposite that don't seem to go together, like a tall midget. But productive procrastination is real, and it can rob you of tons of time and focus. Here's how. Productive procrastination is one of those dangerous forms of self-deception in the professional world. It's the art of staying busy with work that feels productive but ultimately doesn't move the needle on your most important goals. Unlike obvious procrastination, which is scrolling through social media, watching videos, productive procrastination disguises itself as genuine work. You're busy, you're focused, you're even producing tangible outputs, but you've systematically avoiding the high impact, uncomfortable tasks that create real progress. The most common forms of this trap include excessive research, so watching just one more video before the actual work. Next is over-planning, creating an elaborate systems and schedules instead of executing on it. Perfecting the trivial, so spending hours on insignificant details like font choices or minor features. I can't tell you how many people are like, bro, I'm going to blow up on social media. For the last 3 weeks, I've been figuring out what my username is going to be. Look, I'm guilty of it too. I've been there. Finally, it's skill hoarding. Continuously learning new skills without implementing what you already know. Oh, bro, I can't actually get clients. I can't actually start making money. I can't set up my store because I need to master sales first. I need to master investing first before I even start making money. Does that make much sense? Of course not. Now, what makes this form of procrastination so dangerous is a false sense of accomplishment that it provides. You end your day feeling tired and believing that you've been productive, which makes it difficult to actually recognize the pattern, recognize that you have not been productive whatsoever. Your brain gets the satisfaction of checking items off a list without facing the discomfort of tackling the most challenging work. A good way to see where your true north is, or what you should actually be doing, is figure out what you want to do the least. Usually as a service-based business, what you want to do the least is like get clients, outreach, look for clients, look for your next client, or fulfill for your current clients and do the work for them. What do you want to do most? Create your website, write a blog post, write a post on Facebook, on Instagram. That's probably what you want to do most. So remember, activity is not achievement. Being busy is not the same as being productive. True productivity is measured by meaningful progress towards your most significant goals, not by how occupied your time is. And now, we've mentioned this a couple times, which is attention residue, but now we got to get into it even deeper. So look, every time you switch tasks, your mind doesn't fully follow. Part of it remains stuck on what you were doing previously, creating what psychologists call attention residue, which is a cognitive drag that silently sabotages your performance in the next new task. In short, multitasking isn't real. Your brain can't actually do multiple things at once. Imagine trying to ride a bike, but every 10 seconds you have to stop. You'd be 10 times more fatigued than if you were to just kept riding without stopping. You're checking emails, then you're sending an outreach, then you're watching a video, then you're getting a snack, all within 30 minutes. This type of spray and pray approach to your focus will leave you with no results to show. And it's actually a really good analogy. You could use it with anything. Like you're driving a car, and every 2 minutes you have to stop, get out, do 5 push-ups, and then get back in the car and then go. It's like, yeah, I'm working out and driving at the same time. I'm multitasking. Those are very, very obvious analogies and obvious hypotheticals and scenarios. While this is less obvious, which is like, I'm going to do some work, then I'm going to check my emails, I'm going to check my Instagram real quick, but then I'll get back to work in a second. It's a lot less obvious, but it's even more fundamentally harmful to your success than all those other obvious ones. Single tasking. Practical steps to breaking the multitasking myth. So, number 1 is to schedule batch processing times. So, group similar small tasks. Think of all of your tasks like an assembly line. As an assembly line, you see what? Let's say this bottle, for example. You don't have one guy and he takes a bottle. He puts the sticker on it, then he puts the liquid in the bottle, and then he puts the cap on, and then it goes to the next. They don't do that. What they do is they have one machine make the bottles, and it's just making bottles, making bottles, making bottles, making bottles. That's all it does. And the next machine or next guy fills the bottle with liquid. The next guy's filling it with liquid, filling it with liquid, filling it with liquid. That's all he does. He doesn't put the cap on. He doesn't put the sticker on. He doesn't do any of that. And then finally, you have one dude, and his whole job is to sit there and put caps on, put caps on, put caps on. Why? Because that is by far the most efficient way of utilizing your time. So you have to be meticulous with this. Next is to use the phone in the other room rule. I talked about this. You can either just toss your phone in the other room, or you can use the brick like I showed you guys before, or you can just get another phone or use your old phone, and that is your work phone. You don't even have all of those other brain rot apps even on it. On top of that, embrace the single browser tab policy. You guys should be single browser tabbing it right now. Only the course, nothing else. If you have other crap up there, take it off, bro. You don't need it. You don't need it. Close all unnecessary tabs and use browser extensions to block distracting websites during focus time. This eliminates temptation to hop between tasks. Next is to practice task switching penalties. So build a 5 to 10 minute buffer between different types of work and give yourself time to fully transition. This prevents the cognitive switching costs that hurts productivity. Next is to implement themed workdays. I usually do this because, again, I could do a billion things. I could write short form. I could record short form. I could write the free course here. I could record the free course. I could write my YouTube videos. I could record my YouTube videos. I could go live with my subscribers. I could go live with my paid community. I can go live with my one-to-one students and help them. There's a billion different things that I could do. But instead, I put them all on different days. That way, I know exactly what I should be doing on each day, and I don't have to spray and pray. Again, a little bit of everything. I can just go really hard and deep in one thing. Next is to use the context preservation technique. So before switching tasks, write down exactly where you left off on your next action, and this reduces mental energy needed to actually start again. So write down where you left off. Now, something else that I didn't actually put here, which is really good, and a lot of these I'm actually using this very second. So I find it, it's important to practice what you preach. So me being able to show you exactly what I'm doing, you guys see that I'm not just showing you guys or telling you guys to do something that I would never do. Okay, yeah. So I have a do later list. I had to see if there's any sensitive information on there. A do later list. So all you need to do is have a notebook next to your computer, and that is your do later list. Whenever you get a thought in your head, so for example, mine is buy track pants / workout pants because I need a new pair. Check Amazon packages. I wanted to see if they're on their way or what. You know how you buy an Amazon package and then you just check every 2 seconds if it's made any progress. And then also figure out a new recording setup. I have some new short form content that I'm coming out with on my Instagram at tyson.scales. So I'm going to figure out how exactly I'm going to record those. Now, when I am deep into work, into a task, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you know what? I actually wanted to buy some track pants. So I'm going to go online and look for some. You know what? I'm going to check my Amazon packages right now. Instead, I will write it down and do them later. Next is to set up office hours for interruptions, like I said before, but make sure everybody and everything knows that you are not available between the hours of one time and another. And then now we have to talk about maxing out your productivity. Now, if this kind of picture describes you right now, right? You're Lenny, absolutely locked in, and or SpongeBob and Patrick, write that down. This is what you should be doing. So if you actually, kind of going along with the whole theme here, if your attention is wandering, if it's getting hard, if it's getting distracting, if it's getting difficult to keep up, man, hang in there, because trust me, you're going to need it. You're going to need it. So stay locked in, stay here, stay with me, keep writing your notes, keep paying attention, and let's get it. So I have a few things. The first big thing is time blocking versus to-do lists, how they're different, why they're different, and how to implement them and use them. So the to-do list seems productive on the surface. You write down tasks, you check them off, and you feel accomplished. But